right, hello. So on this episode, still talking about effect of placing an underage child in a higher class. The next point we are going to look at today is low self-esteem. Now, when a child who is underage is placed in a higher class, it's going to affect the esteem of that child. The child automatically begins to behave in a way that he or she begins to use negative words on himself or herself, begin to tell him or himself or herself negative things, how good enough he or she is not, how things are not going well with him or her. Those are the thoughts that will be eating up in the mind of that child. That child, begins to tell himself or herself, I am not good enough, I cannot do it. It begins to use words like can't. That's why sometimes, even when the teacher is trying to explain something to the child is already saying, I can't do it, I can't. So it's up the child. And again, this child will now feel so inferior. The child will look at others, see that others are doing well, others answer questions, others, when work is given or task is given, at the end of the day they do well, they come out tops and all that. This child will begin to look at himself or herself as somebody who is inferior, as somebody who does not want anything, as somebody who cannot do anything. And this child will not even also see the positive side of himself or herself. This child will not see the strength that he or she possesses. The only thing the child will be seeing is that negative part of the child. That's what the child will keep seeing. And again, this same child will feel that he or she is unloved, because he will feel that maybe he's not loved, they don't love me. Maybe my teacher don't love me, because when the teacher is on the child every time, you haven't done this, you need to do this. Meanwhile, others are done with their tasks and they have moved on to another task. So as the teacher is always, trying to make the child maybe finish a particular task before going to the next one, the child now looks at himself or herself that he's not loved. Maybe the teacher don't love him or her, or even the peers that have finished their tasks and they are doing other things and they are, enjoying the activities of the class. The child feels that even the peers don't love him or her. So the child is just, in a world of his own or her own. And this can affect the child so much that this child may not be able to, do well. So you see that when you place a child who is underage in a higher class, it's going to affect the esteem of that child. So if you don't want your child to be affected, if you don't want the child to go through low self-esteem, it is better that you don't place an underage child in a higher class, just so that let your child go through the normal class, so that this child can follow up and do well and mix up with other pupils in the class and have a better chance of doing well like others too, so that your child can be free from anything that may affect him or her in the future. Please, if you like this video, I would like you to like, share, comment. If you have any question, please, you can ask. We'll answer all your questions. Please give this video a thumbs up, please subscribe, and see you next time. Ciao.